Sports bill passed in Lok Sabha. Sports Minister Mandaviya calls it single biggest sports reform since independence. The long-awaited National Sports Governance Bill was passed in the Lok Sabha on Monday, with Sports Minister Mandaviya describing it as the single biggest reform in Indian sports since independence amid opposition protests over the revision of electoral rolls in Bihar. The National Anti-Doping Amendment Bill was also passed when the Lok Sabha reconvened at 2 p.m. after an early adjournment due to opposition protests. This is the single biggest reform in sports since independence. This bill will ensure accountability, justice, and best governance in sports federations, Mandaviya said amid sloganeering by opposition members. The IT will have massive significance in India's sports ecosystem. It is unfortunate that such an important bill and reform does not have the opposition's participation, he added. The opposition leaders were not present in the House when the bills were introduced for consideration and passage, as most of them were detained while marching towards the Election Commission headquarters against the special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar and alleged voter data fudging. However, after 2 MPs participated in the consideration debate, speaking in support of the bill, the opposition members returned to the House and started raising slogans amid the noise. The bills were passed by a voice vote, following which the House was adjourned till 4 p.m. earlier. Chairman of the Parliamentary Committee on Sports, Digvijaya Singh, requested Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to refer the National Sports Governance Bill to the panel. He felt that the bill should be examined and discussed before it is taken up by Parliament. Mandaviya said the 2 bills were key reforms aimed at building a transparent, accountable, and world-class sports ecosystem in India, as the country aims to bid for the 2036 Olympics. Efforts have been made since 1975, and in 1985, we had the first draft. But sports were also politicized for personal gains. Some ministers made efforts to bring this bill but could not move forward. In 2011, we had a national sports code. Another effort was made to turn it into a bill. It reached the cabinet. There was a discussion as well, but the bill was deferred after that. It did not reach Parliament, the minister stated while presenting a timeline of the bill's journey. The National Sports Governance Bill is a force of change. Despite being such a large country, our performance at the Olympic Games and on the international stage has not been satisfactory, and this bill aims to build India's sports capacity, he added. The Sports Governance Bill has provisions for a National Sports Board (NSB) to create a stringent system of accountability. All national sports federations (NSFs) will have to attain NSB recognition for access to central government funding. The NSB will have the mandate to recognize a national body that fails to hold elections for its executive committee or has committed gross irregularities in the election procedures, failure to publish annual audited accounts, or misuse, misapplication, or misappropriation of public funds would also be liable for action by the NSB, but it would be required to consult the concerned global body before making its move. Another feature is the proposal for a national sports tribunal, which will have the powers of a civil court and decide disputes ranging from selection to election involving federations and athletes. Once instituted, the tribunal's decisions can only be challenged in the Supreme Court. The bill makes some concessions on the issue of age cap for administrators by allowing those in the bracket of 70 to 75 to contest elections if the concerned international body's statutes and bylaws allow for it. This is a departure from the National Sports Code that capped the age limit at 70. As part of the preparatory activities for the bidding of Summer Olympic Games 2036, it is imperative that the sports governance landscape undergoes a positive transformation to bring better outcomes, sporting excellence, and aids in improved performance in major international competitions. Read the bill's statement of objectives. All recognized national sports bodies would also come under the ambit of the Right to Information (RTI) Act, something that the BCCI has vehemently opposed since it is not dependent on government funding. However, the Cricket Board has got some leeway on that front, with the government amending the bill to ensure that RTI would be applicable only to bodies that rely on government funding or support. The National Anti-Doping Amendment Bill 2025 seeks to incorporate the changes sought by the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA), which objected to government interference in the functioning of the country's anti-doping agency (NADA). The act was originally passed in 2022, but its implementation had to be put on hold due to objections raised by WADA. The world body objected to the institution of a national board for anti-doping in sports, which was empowered to make recommendations to the government on anti-doping regulations of the board, which was to comprise a chairperson and 2 members appointed by the central government, was also authorized to oversee the National Anti-Doping Agency (NADA) and even issue directions to it. Swipe left for next video. WADA rejected this provision as government interference in an autonomous body. In the amended bill, the board has been retained but without the powers to oversee NADA or the advisory role it was previously assigned. The amended bill asserts NADA's operational independence, with inputs from PTI latest blogs.